that ruby red upon your pout. Let all our little secrets out. Got those loose lips speaking fast. A reputation built to last. With that dangerous allure and a single glance, it's a sweet romance. Loose lips and lipstick. Loose lips and lipstick. Loose lips and lipstick. Loose lips and lipstick.
And hello!
Hi.
Welcome to another exciting episode of
Loose Lips.
And Lipstick with me, your biological female, Kennedy Ann Scott.
And me, I'm not a coffee table, I'm a vanity.
Oh my god, that is the best one!
You're so welcome.
Yes. Hi, girl.
Hi, girl.
Welcome. I'm so excited to be here again with you.
Me too. I brought the vodka this time.
Well, and we talked about this. I'm just kidding.
You said do it more often.
I did.
And so
'cause
here we are.
I think it's going to be fun.
It's going to be a great topic.
It's going to be great. I'm going to keep us on track.
You sent me the bullet point today, and I was like, Jesus Christ.
I did.
I wish y'all could see the text messages this lady sends me. They're like astronomically long.
Because I have to send text messages because you will never read emails.
And the olden days, it would have came in as like 1 text, 2 text, 3 text. It probably would have been an 8 texter.
For sure.
You remember where you only had like so many like
Yes.
characters you could use? Girl, I just
Well, I'm glad
aged Bishop, but that's okay.
I'm glad I got in, but I almost ran out of minutes. No, but I was like, well, I got to keep us on track today because we have a really fun topic to talk about.
Very fun topic.
Yes, we're going to be talking about basically our straight allies and what it means to be a straight ally.
Yes.
And kind of how we can kind of bridge those gaps together.
Mhm. And what our expectations are.
Yes, expectations. But I kind of wanted to start this episode off by kind of just being, what is a true ally?
Not
What
me.
No, you are not.
Nope. Homophobic to the most.
Now that is true. You and my dog.
Is your dog homophobic?
Yes.
My dog just hates everybody.
She was barking at me the other day. She was like coming into your house and she was like, "Rrr, rrr, rrr." And I was like, girl, sniff it.
And she did it. She said, nope.
Yeah, she said,
Yeah, she just
"Nah."
doesn't like everybody.
Yeah, darn it. I'm
Yeah.
going to win her love.
You should. She's a snuggle butt once you do.
She's so cute.
I need to get her groomed.
She's a little fluff ball.
Yeah. Fuzzy object for punting.
So, kind of starting off our episode today, what does it mean to be a true straight ally? Being a true straight ally to the LGBTQIA plus community goes beyond simply saying, I don't mind gay people, or showing up to a pride parade once a year for fun drinks,
Yeah.
or just hanging out with your gal
Right.
pals. At its core, being an ally means actively using your privilege, your space, and voice to support, defend, and uplift queer people, especially when we are not in the room.
Say that again for the people in the back.
And for the people in the back, this is you speaking up for our queerness when we're not in the room. You know,
And that's really heavy right now, especially because
is.
we just talked about all the politics and stuff that are going into trying to
Yes.
erase, trans and drag queens and stuff. But it's not just that. I mean, it's toward gays too and lesbians too, and so it's very important in these times.
well, it's also
In
getting
these
to a-
trying times.
it's also getting to a point with, and it goes back to like the early days. If you are silent, you're dead. If you remain silent, nothing gets done.
Yeah.
And people will look over you, look around you, they'll look past you, and you will be nothing.
Yep.
And so, and I say like we're living in times where literally social media is in our hand 100% of the day.
Yeah.
I mean, and when you go to bed, it's simply just a couple of feet from you. So it doesn't take a lot of time to put up a post or a story supporting people.
Yeah.
It doesn't take a lot of.
And I think a lot of people, and I, I don't want to speak for, the whole straight community, but
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people are allies when they're in the space to need to be the ally. Like, I shouldn't say need, when they're in the space that it's convenient for them to be the ally. Like you said, at Pride or at the gay bar or at the, and so a lot of them, when it comes to the social media, they don't want to post, they don't want to vocalize themselves because heaven forbid, you know, Aunt May might have a fucking conniption.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's the point that you're trying to make, is like that true allyship is, it doesn't matter what, you know, Aunt May from Timbuktu thinks about you.
For sure. And
Make
it's
the
okay
post.
to like stand up. And I always believe that I'm not saying you have to be like a total terror to people, but it's okay to ruffle a little bit of feathers.
Oh, hell, be a terror.
But I've said this before, but I was, you know, typically sometimes queer people are the most uncomfortable people in the room, and we are uncomfortable all day, every every day of the week.
Yes.
It's okay for other people to take turns being uncomfortable.
You know, I've never really personally heard you say that, but
Oh,
you saying it now it resonates with me because it's so true. I can't even go to the Walmart without feeling uncomfortable. I can't, you know, taking in my trash can earlier today and
Yeah.
putting it in my garage. I was uncomfortable because I'm like, you know, my neighbors, obviously, they know what I'm doing for
Yeah.
a living. They know who I am. Like, you know, but it's still uncomfortable because you don't really know what people's intentions are.
For sure. And
You know, and so like I get out of the house to take in my trash can, something so simple as that, and I feel like I have to scurry back inside real quick before somebody sees the daywalker.
for sure.
You know,
And I get that feeling at school sometimes.
Yeah.
So being an educator and being at school, I do keep both lives separate.
yes,
One is just professional on me, and I don't have anything to hide, but I just keep things separate. But I did something crazy this year. So we just started school, but we always do like a teacher work week.
Yeah.
In service is what they call it. And so we go to different meetings and all that. Well, we had to create a PowerPoint that had one slide of things that we were passionate about, and then one slide that was we were passionate about professionally. And so for the first time on a PowerPoint, I put drag as a passion of mine, and I put a picture of me in drag on it on the
Yeah.
slide.
and that's a big deal.
It was a big deal because we had to go around to different people and show them our PowerPoints, and like talk to people, basically get to know new
Yeah.
teachers and all that kind of stuff. And I was really nervous at first because I work in some atmospheres where it's not everybody is a team player.
Yeah.
In that regard, right?
Right.
Not everybody supports that, and everybody agrees
Right.
with it, and everybody likes it. But I was just kind of like showing my true self. And there was this new teacher who, and this is why I try not to believe rumors all the time, but there is like, she was coming into our school, and a lot of people said that she was very conservative, very this. But whenever she was like, "Do you want to be partners?" And I was like, "Okay." So she went first, and we were like looking at her slides, and then I showed mine, and she's like, when I went to New York, and the place I stayed was right across the street where they filmed To Wong Fu.
Oh, how
And like,
cute.
I was like, oh my God. So she took it upon herself to make me feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, we found something that we could relate
to.
But then it was really funny too, because I was like, yeah, that's me. I do drag. She's like, that's cute. And then we went on to something else, but
Yeah.
it was cute. Like,
And here's the thing, she might be the conservative that she
Yes.
is made out to be, and she might be a hard ass, or, you know, super religious or whatever. That's fine and dandy. Be who you want to be.
Mhm.
But also, it's just like, it's not our place to shove it in people's faces. It's
For
not
sure.
their place to shove it in ours.
Exactly.
And so that's why I had that like eureka moment when you were speaking a second ago, is because I was like, I guarantee you, if you were in a different setting, a lot of people would have taken that as in like, oh, here he goes, shoving his gayness down our throat. And like,
Yeah.
you know, it's very much like, I don't mind the gays, but I don't like it when it's their whole personality.
Yes.
But what they don't realize sometimes is that it's not just our whole personality.
Mhm.
But what it is we are so shunned, we're so scared, we face a lot of backlash. So when we take those moments to be not prideful, but you know, excited, or we want to share, they
Our
automatically want to take it. Why do you feel like that is? Like they want to take it to where like we're shoving it in their face.
Well, I think it also comes down to something I say
because you wearing your MAGA hat, shoving that in my face.
Right.
So
But it also we also have to look at, since we are kind of in a heteronormative society,
Correct.
the less that they know, the more they make up. So they really don't understand
Mhm.
what drag is or what queer life is. So in their mind, they necessarily either create storylines
Mhm.
or they say to themselves, well, there's no way that two men could be together and just love each other.
Or they're
you know
just
what I mean? Like,
going solely off of what the media is telling
Exactly.
them.
Exactly.
And that's dangerous.
yes. So I think it just all boils down to really getting to know people
Yeah.
on a deeper level.
Mhm.
Because this reminds me of a college story where when I was in
You
college.
went to college?
I did go to
Oh.
college.
That explains it. You chose books, I chose looks.
Oh my God. Thanks, homeschool Barbie.
You're welcome. You will rue the day. You will rue the fucking day. At least I'm a Barbie bitch, not a brick.
Oh, damn it. I knew that was going to come back. I knew.
Carry on.
Oh my
Sorry.
God, too funny. But this was when we would go to visit friends in their hometowns.
Mhm.
And one of the dads, we went to this little country town, and one of the dads came up to one of his daughters that I went to school with. It was like, he's nothing like Jack from Will and Grace. I was like-
What?
and I was like, I don't think all gays are the same.
I don't know. I don't know. No, listen. Here's the thing, though. We did a couple episodes ago, and we talked about stereotypes and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And as I go back and I watch like queer media and things of that nature, I'm like, yep, that's so and so. Yep, that's so and so.
There are molds that we fit.
Yeah, there are molds, but I mean, I guess it's the same thing with a Hallmark movie.
Yeah. That's the same storyline.
You can find similarities if you're looking for them.
Woman who runs a corporation gets
I thought you were trying
moves
to be a
small
caveman when
town.
you did that, woman.
Oh my God.
I was like, all right.
Oh my God. Well, as we jump into here today, my first point is that I kind of want to get into the straight allyship discussion is understanding you are a guest in the house.
Oh.
What I mean by that
Uh-huh.
is in queer spaces. So when straight people go to queer spaces like gay bars, drag shows, community centers, all of that, straight allies are welcomed guests. And
So take your shoes off at the door.
yes. But the space isn't tailored to them.
No.
So, and it's not necessarily centered around them, but it is meant for them to also enjoy. And I want people to have a good time. And I want everybody. I love that I work at a bar for humans.
Right.
That's what we praise ourselves on. You work at a bar that is
for humans.
for
All
humans.
inclusive. Yeah.
All inclusive. Both of our places are very inclusive.
Mm-hmm. They want everybody to feel welcomed as soon as they walk in the door. It doesn't matter if they're gay, straight, black, white. That's how both of our venues behave.
And the reason I say it like that is because queer spaces as gay bars
Yes.
are safe spaces. They are a building or a structure where queer people can come and be themselves.
And thrive.
They might not be able to go down to Broadway.
And feel completely safe.
Exactly.
Because I don't. Because
No.
like I told you, if I don't feel safe taking out my fucking trash can,
Yeah.
I feel the most. So RJ's family
Mm-hmm.
was in town a couple months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Love his family. First of all, I'm just gonna say this, like, so inclusive, so respectful. If they have a question, they're not afraid to ask it, which I love doing that. I
Yeah.
love teaching people. But they're from Arizona and they wanted to be on Broadway, and not to derail the conversation,
No,
but
you're
like
fine.
this is like prime
Yeah.
example. They wanted to go into like Kid Rocks. Y'all have fun.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sit on the sidewalk. I don't feel comfortable going in there.
Yeah.
And I refuse to go in there. I'm not gonna give that man money.
No.
I'm not gonna support that because, of his journey with his anti-gay shit. But even standing on the sidewalk of Broadway as a man. Now, mind you, I'm not wearing anything flamboyant. I'm letting you know so the listeners know. I'm not wearing anything flamboyant. I'm in what seems to be a t-shirt and shorts and closed-toed shoes. Like I'm in a ball cap. Like I'm not waving a rainbow flag or whatever. The only thing that is a dead giveaway on me is the fact that I have acrylic nails on.
Mm-hmm.
The looks and the uncomfortability and the people talking under their breath and the side-eyeing and the pointing and
Yeah.
the giggling. The whole time while I'm just trying to smoke a cigarette and just let my family experience a life that they've not been able to experience in that moment,
Yeah.
right? It's so frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where this is where I get a little like bamboozled, because like when we say we're not here to disrupt your life, we're just here to exist.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we mean. And for
Yeah.
you to go out of your way and point and laugh and giggle or throw, homophobic slurs or whatever the case may be, you're actually making it more obvious than it really already was.
Yeah, it
And
is.
so you're one, definitely not being an ally, obviously. But that's where I think, like, if an ally was there and had
Mhm.
spoken up, and it wasn't even that traumatic, but I'm just saying, like, that's where allies are important.
Yes.
Those scenarios,
In those moments.
situations, those doors that we don't get to go behind
Mm-hmm.
or won't go behind, that's where it's important for y'all to stick up and say something.
For sure. And that leads me to a story as to, so Bishop and I went to Mexico for a friend's wedding. I married them, and we were
You
staying.
officiated their wedding?
I
Oh, how
officiated their wedding
cute.
as Kennedy Ann.
Oh, how precious.
It was so fun. So we went to this all-inclusive resort, and so the day comes of the wedding, and I wore a wedding dress because both of the grooms were wearing. I said, "I'm wearing a wedding dress,"
How
and so I wore this like white gown to marry them, and so
Should have been beige.
those were so going back to like the hotel and walking
Mm-hmm.
around. Every one that gave compliments was from a different country. The
Mhm.
only people that were staring and gawking and looking
USA.
was USA.
Mhm.
And so cut to the end of the night, I had changed into like a short little white dress because I was also doing some numbers at the
Yeah.
reception. So we went to this nightclub that was on the premises.
Mhm.
And so we were going back to our room, and this lady came up to Bishop and I and goes, "Oh my God, congratulations!" And I was like, we were looking around, and I go, I didn't get married. And she said, "Oh." And she said, I said, "I married the couple." And she said, "Oh." I said, "Yeah, two of our gay friends, two grooms got married today, and I married them. I'm the drag queen." And she goes, "Oh." And Bishop goes, "Okay, time to go." Because she was so baffled, like her face, and then we walk through the lobby, and they're having like this party, and all of the U.S. people are like, and I'm like, "Hey."
You know what, though, is so crazy, though? Because, like, I will go on Broadway any day of the week, anytime, and high whore drag and not give a flying
Oh,
fuck
yeah, same.
about what's going on around me.
Yeah.
But the moment, and maybe it's a me problem, as we're having these last couple of episodes, I'm like, I have some real insecurity issues, I feel like. But no, as Hunter going on Broadway, I'm the most uncomfortable because I've performed at Coyote Ugly.
Yeah.
And I've done some other things down on Broadway. I mean, who can say that as a man has gotten on Coyote Ugly's bar to perform?
For sure.
Right? That's like huge deal, right?
It is.
The whole time I was downtown and high whore drag, a total blast. It was a circus sideshow, but I was inviting it in. So
Exactly.
maybe that's the difference.
It is.
But I'm just more powerful in drag. I
Well,
can do anything.
Same. I think there's something, that's what I love about drag is because
I'll go play in traffic and drag.
it. She playing Frogger.
Live, loud, and in color. Splat.
I love that. But I think also, it gives us that sense of confidence that as children, as young men,
Mhm.
we were never allowed to exist
I
in
also
this
think
culture.
that it gives us a false sense of security.
I think sometimes
You know.
it does. I think, because I think,
I actually, like I said, I feel invincible when I'm in drag.
Well, yeah,
And
but we could
I
also
also know that I'm a baddie at heart, and
You
so
are.
like being in drag, I will throw hands, like,
Yeah.
and not care.
But we also know that we could never say half of the shiitake mushrooms. Can we say shit? Yeah, why not?
I've been dropping
I know,
F-bombs
sorry.
left and right.
But
And you're
we
over here
can't-
worried about
we
shit.
can't say half the shit that we say if we don't have a wig on. We couldn't get away with it.
It depends on how drunk I am.
There you go. There you go. I love that. But I think overall, with understanding you are a guest in the house, is
Yeah.
also respecting the vibe
Yeah.
of the clubs and of the spaces, right? So, like, it recognizes that these are spaces that were built, obviously, as safe havens for people, especially for marginalized groups.
I was about to say, especially if they have like heavy queer undertones in
Yes.
these safe spaces, like
Yeah.
like prime example where we work, it's an all-inclusive space. We want everybody to feel comfortable, but just know that it's ran by gays and lesbians.
Yes.
And so like it's gonna be heavy on the gays and the lesbians and the trans and you know
Exactly.
the whole alphabet mafia. So don't be shocked when you go into the women's restroom and you see, you know, a big Bertha drag queen fixing her fucking makeup. Like,
Well, yeah, and don't treat us performers like zoo exhibits,
oh my gosh.
right?
Oh my god, I might look like a pig, but I'm not. I'm telling you.
I know. But like I think like it's like and again, we put ourselves in those situations and I love entertaining and I love for people to be like, "Ooh, she looked good." But
Or
like
oh, she looks bad.
yeah, or she looked
I love it all.
Yes, same. But like it's also like support,
Mhm.
don't take over. Right?
I think that's a you never want to purposely go into somebody's environment and want to take over. However, if it happens organically, and by that I mean like no, we don't want a whole army of straight people walking into these like predominantly queer spaces and leaving us with nothing. That's not what I'm saying.
No, yeah.
But like let's just say prime example, this couple Thursdays ago, I had this one straight woman come in and she was very enthralled with the show and she was also adding to the show.
Yes.
But because of her, I feel like there would not have been such a great crowd response.
yeah.
So in that moment, did she take over the show? Yes, and it was needed.
yes.
So that's a catch-22 for me.
That's
Does
true.
that make sense? Like, if
Yes.
it wasn't for her, the rest of the audience wouldn't have given a shit.
For sure. Now I understand that.
So
yes.
that's not
That
what
makes
that's
sense.
not necessarily what we're talking about when we say take over the show.
No.
So what I was trying to
Yes,
clarify.
no, that's true. But I also like, but like a true ally knows when to step up. Like, and these are certain situations, not necessarily at the gay bar,
Yeah.
but these are like just out in everyday hanging out,
Yeah.
public spaces. Whenever we go to straight bars
Mhm.
and we're hanging out with our straight friends, it's saying an ally knows when to step up and speak
Mhm.
and when to take a back seat.
And I think
listen.
that yes, that point, but also vice versa for us. When we're in straight spaces, I don't think that we should also be, necessarily throwing ourselves around, hitting on the straight men.
For sure.
So like I'm what I'm doing is I'm playing bad cop to good cop over here.
Yes. No, I love that.
Because it takes both sides to make the world go.
Yes.
So what I'm saying is to the queer folk is when we're in straight spaces or predominantly straight spaces, act accordingly.
For sure.
Have some decorum.
Yes.
Because you don't know how many times I've been in straight spaces with my group of friends and we're loud and crazy.
Yeah.
And they say some absurd shit
Yes.
to these straight boys. And
Yeah.
it drives me bonkers because I'm like, in a weird way, it makes me go, you're the reason why we have such a target on our back.
Yeah.
Like I'm not... like if you know somebody, if you have a strong inkling that somebody is heterosexual as a homosexual, be respectful of that. You want them to be respectful of you as a homosexual.
Yeah.
They're not going to until you give them a reason to be.
Yeah. But I also
But especially the way we're portrayed in the media and the way that we're portrayed in movies and things like that. Like we're over sexually, we're over sexualized. We're over horny. We're always trying to convert. Like
Yeah.
that's how we're always portrayed.
yes.
And then here you are in a straight space playing into the same stereotype that
True.
you're wanting to fight against.
But
It
I also want
bothers
to
me.
kind of normalize a little bit.
Maybe
like,
I'm homophobic.
And this was also part of the intervention that keeps going episode to episode.
Pulls out the bottle of vodka.
But I also kind of want to say, like, why can we not normalize men telling other men they look good or they are attractive in a respectful way? But like, you know, like if there are like sometimes when I'm hanging out with my girlfriends at a straight bar or even my gay friends, there are some men that come and they're hanging out with us and I'll be like, oh my gosh, you look so good in that. But then I stop myself sometimes because I don't want them to think I'm hitting on them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you always have to like kind of double back or like backtrack or second guess yourself. And I'm gonna just be completely honest. What I always do in that situation is because there's been several instances where my like girlfriends will have like their boyfriends or whatever, and I will just be like, listen. And my favorite thing to do is to drop the no homo. And I'm being dead ass because it's a great icebreaker for them. And you just go, listen, and I'm a sissy.
Yeah.
I'm a huge sissy with nails and
Yeah.
probably last night's eye makeup on. You know what I'm saying? And so I'll just be like, listen, no homo, but I'm really digging the shirt.
Yes.
I think the shirt looks great on you. And then what I will do is really sissify and go, I think it really brings out your eyes or it makes your complexion look
For
really
sure.
great. And then I'll go, but no homo. And then I go back to what I was doing.
Yes.
And that's a way that I've made myself feel more comfortable in that situation.
For sure.
And
And I think that's something that queer people do in general. We take that trauma and we are the first to joke or, you know, poke fun at or make a hilarious...
address the elephant in the room so that way
Exactly.
nobody's uncomfortable.
Yes.
Right.
But now, switching the gear,
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes in our queer spaces, when straight men come to queer spaces and let's say a gay man is like, can I buy you a drink? And then like sometimes they take offense to that or they'll be like, I'm not gay. Like, I think you have to also realize when you're in these spaces that if you're not into it, that's okay. But there's ways to like say it like, thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah.
You know, or something like that. You don't have to draw such big attention to say like, oh, I'm not gay, I don't go that way.
I think that also stems from fragile masculinity.
For sure.
And I think that also stems from them not being taught how to communicate. See, we out of survival learn how to communicate with the
Yeah.
straights, but them not being around us as probably as much as we are around them.
Yeah.
You know, so they don't get the privilege of learning how to navigate us like we do them,
Yes.
which is to our detriment and to our benefit depending on how you look at it. But
Yeah.
I think of it as a benefit and a positive, as in like I can now make you feel more comfortable around me, but some people use it as a benefit as in I know how to play with your emotions and
Yeah.
like manipulate you, and I don't like that. But
Yeah, for sure. And I think there's just a little bit of grace that needs to happen on both sides.
Absolutely.
Depending on the space that you're in.
Yeah.
You know, we also have to recognize that there are some queer people who are like, oh, I'm going to change that person. Maybe you're not. You're not. But
I hate that mentality. It's so gross
but
to
that's
me.
out there. That's out there. But
It
then
is
you
out there.
But then you have some
Just like you have DL guys that are
Yes.
straight, but they don't mind, sucking a little on the
quiet
side.
in the creek.
You know what I'm saying? So like, it's a give and take here.
Yeah.
And we can't. I think the problem that we're always running into is it's one whole community faced against another whole community, and we're judging them based off of very minute individuals.
For sure.
You know.
And I think we've been trained as a society for very long that everything is black and white, and
Mm-hmm.
people have a hard time still even now with the gray.
Yeah. And they want that though. And,
Yeah.
and not to get to a conspiracy theorist
No,
mindset, but like respectfully, if you're paying attention, they want division and who
Yes.
they are. Get yourself into that mindset. But like they being the powers that be, the higher honchos, the people that are running the world, they want us at division because along with division comes confusion, and along with confusion means control.
Yes.
And that's exactly what this is all about.
Yeah.
So,
And that leads
like I
me-
said, not to sound like a conspiracy theorist,
No,
but
but-
it's the truth.
For sure.
So.
And that leads me to our next point of the discussion, which is for a good straight ally, it speaks up when it's uncomfortable.
Mm.
and I kind of do the behind closed doors test where is this person going to speak up for me when I'm not in the room? I've had a few.
How do you test that though?
So I think
Without giving too much away, so that way when you test somebody else, they don't
Yeah.
know that you're testing them.
I think it's mainly as like, you know, like I feel like sometimes with some of my straight friend groups, I'll be like, this is happening, this is coming, this is happening, like this law is happening. Whereas recently I've had a few friends that have posted things that I haven't even told them about. So like that's kind of what I'm saying is like,
Oh, gotcha,
are they
gotcha.
speaking up for me?
Normally
when
you're guiding them,
Yes.
and then what they're doing is taking it upon themselves to educate themselves on
Yes.
what's going on with either local law or
Exactly. Or
Gotcha.
just in a conversation in their own homes. You know?
Gotcha.
Because the reason I say that is because, you know, it's having those uncomfortable conversations that we have with politics today where like even straight allies are giving flack for sticking up for us.
Yeah.
So if they're willing to even make a post without me guiding them or saying, hey, everyone should post about this or this is an important issue,
Yeah.
you're taking it upon yourself. That's kind of like what I'm talking about.
Gotcha.
In that instance. Because like,
if you're not having to be prompted.
yes, you're not having to be prompted, but you're also like, you're calling out the casual homophobia that someone
have.
might plug into a conversation or transphobia, or those little offensive jokes among friends, family members, coworkers, you know, some that might.
Okay, so let me ask you this,
Okay.
and this is going to be a little bit off topic,
Go for it.
but where is the line of knowing, and this is going to sound so like hetero, just fueled,
Yeah.
but where is the line to know how to take a joke and to know that somebody's truly, honestly, genuinely being homophobic, transphobic, racist? Like that's
Yeah.
where I think people are getting lost. And like for me, it's all about intent.
Yes.
Like knowing that person. Like if you were to say something that was slightly homophobic or transphobic to me, I know that you're not homophobic or transphobic, so I would not label you as that. But if somebody is trying to make themselves comfortable with me, like if it's you know, say your second cousin twice removed or whatever, and he's trying to make himself comfortable in the situation, if he says something that's slightly homophobic to maybe see where my reaction is,
Yes.
is that being homophobic, or are you testing the waters to see how much I will be able to?
Yes. But I think
I don't know how
doesn't
to, if I'm explaining that correctly, but
doesn't it kind of go along with those lines, like if everyone is in on the joke, like does that make sense? Like if you are even making a joke about it, and let's say you are like a 300-pound farmer butch man, right? But you kind of make a joke where you're like, well, that sounded kind of gay to me. Like, you know, kind of like funny, meaning like we're all in on the joke. But you're not attacking me where you're a fucking homo. Like, you know what I mean?
that's what I'm saying.
Like-
So, but that's what exactly what I'm
Yes.
saying is like we're all in on the joke.
Yes.
So, but what I've noticed is with society is everybody acts like they're in on the joke, but then once the joke comes, everybody wants to run and scatter like roaches and be like homophobic or transphobic or heaven forbid you say that's racist. Like I don't.
Yeah. I learned a long time ago, it's all about tone.
It's all about tone and it's all about intention.
Yes.
And it's all about who is doing it and who's saying it. Now, first of all, I'm not going to be running around saying anything like racially charged, as in like.
Van's going to
you
start
know.
running out the F slur at everybody.
I'll say faggot all day long.
I think when we look at what was acceptable in society in the 90s compared to where we are now, I think it's a
Oh, well, I wasn't alive in the 90s, so I wouldn't know.
You weren't at all?
No.
Oh my god.
2002.
Oh shoot, I forgot about that. Well, let me tell you. Let me go back to the 90s. So 90s we had like
I have Bishop shook. He's looking at me like, "Are you serious?" No, bitch. It was 92.
She was 92. Don't ever. I was sitting there like, you're believing this?
Did I ever tell you the time? Not to get off topic, but did I ever tell you the time that I convinced Shelby LeBanks that I was 42 years old?
No.
I had her convinced that I was pushing 45. I don't know what's scarier is the fact that she believed it or the fact that I was such a good liar I convinced her.
Babe. Oh my God. You wrecked her world.
Anyways,
Oh my gosh. No, that's funny. No, but I think so. If we look at what was acceptable in the 90s, right? Where let's just be like, when we would watch those Sally Jesse Raphael, Maury Povich.
And you know, they've been making a resurgence back on my algorithm.
They have. But like remember when they would have those shows, Is It a Boy, Is It a Girl? And they would have.
Is it a man or is it a woman?
Yeah.
And it's like Tandy Andrews, Maya Douglas.
Yes. And I would be sitting there watching these and being like, oh my God, I think they're all gorgeous.
Right.
But you saw the whole audience be like, man.
Which is crazy
Like-
because... sorry, go ahead.
No, go for it. Go.
No, what I was going to say is I literally just came across one, and I don't remember who was it. Was it Sally? Or was it Maury? I think it might have been Maury. I don't know. But it was like, is it a man? Is it a woman?
Yes.
And everybody in the audience couldn't tell.
Yeah.
They couldn't tell on any of them.
No.
And that was the cool thing to watch.
Yes. And that's why I was like, oh my gosh, I want to be in that world.
But you know what's so funny is now that I'm in that world, going back and watching them, even with like my drag eye and my shit turned off, I'm like watching them and I'm like, that's a man. That's a man. That's the man.
Yeah.
That's a woman.
But
Like,
my goal with saying this is,
not that I'm over here calling trans women men. Y'all know what I'm doing.
yes. But what I'm going on with this is, over time, our humor levels changed, right? So
We got really sensitive.
we did, but I think it's because
We raised a bunch of pussies.
no, it is not because of that. It is
Damn.
because no, but it's because when we have to look at again, who's in on the joke and who's
Yeah.
just making a joke to hurt someone. There's a difference between
Correct.
understand, but I also think that we're missing, and I don't think a lot of people understand humor.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we live in an era anymore where we can understand humor because our politics is now
And that's what I was
that
about to
crazy
say.
humor where we're like, is this real? Like, I think
Mm-hmm.
the way that especially since 2016, humor levels have changed because of how society has become.
I think humor has also just shifted into a direction that is unrecognizable to me. Like I don't always understand satire.
True.
You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
I mean, I always understand satire. Like, I'm
Yes.
like, oh, this is satire. But there are some times where I'm like, is this really like, or is this like for real?
Yeah.
Whereas like comedy from my point of view growing up was always, oh, this is comedy. Like
Yeah.
this is point blank. You're meant to laugh at this. Like this is not meant to be taken seriously.
True.
Whereas satire is to give you that
Yeah.
question.
For sure.
And so that's where I feel like satire and comedy have kind of overlapped a little bit,
Yes.
and that's where the flustering is coming from.
Because it's also looking at that, do we actually understand what humor is anymore? And like, we have to also realize that, and drag queens, most of all, we're making the joke about ourselves first.
Right.
And then we can lead in with more humor.
But
right?
drag is also about pushing an envelope,
Yes.
just like comedy. And I think that this is why I'm so, especially being kind of like considered a comedy queen,
Mhm.
this is where I have the most balance issues on this topic, is because like drag is supposed to be humorous for like my style of drag.
Mhm.
And comedy and drag are supposed to push envelopes, but then once the envelopes gets pushed,
Mhm.
people want to outcry that
Yes.
it was too far. But when it comes to drag and comedy, nothing is supposed to be
Too far.
too far.
Yeah.
Because we're here for the joke. We're here
Yes.
for the pun. We're here for the laugh.
Because the biggest joke in the room for a drag
Queen is that we're in drag.
Yes.
Just like a comedian.
Yes.
The biggest joke in the room is the fact that they're standing on a stage trying to make you laugh.
Yes.
Like, so, anyways. Yeah,
But
I feel like we've gotten way
No,
off topic here.
We
but
have, but we can connect it back to like basically when the offensive jokes can be one thing
Ah.
and how you do it like offensive jokes, we all know what an offensive joke looks like. It's attacking someone. But these are where the allies need to step in and correcting someone when they use the wrong pronouns, or correcting someone when someone in the room gives remarks like that are not correct, you know, or like not what needs to be said at the
Yes.
moment. But then also an ally is a person who is doing the hard work, educating themselves on what is actually going on and how they can help. Because sometimes a straight person standing up in the room can say so much to everyone around them, you know?
All it takes is one individual who identifies as heterosexual to speak up for a queer community, and they can change the whole game.
Yeah.
Because say there's legislation going against gay people, and it takes just that one straight person to cause reasonable doubt as to why that legislation should not go through, and then that's all it takes sometimes.
For sure.
You know, and so that's why allyship is so important.
Well, yeah, and that's across the board in every minority
and
group.
every minority group. It's not
Because
just, yeah.
One thing an ally doesn't do, like a good ally doesn't expect their friends who are a minority to be a 24/7 Google.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't just rely on all of your friends. But you can ask questions, but
Yeah.
sometimes there has to come a point where you
Have to do the work for yourself.
You do. You have to. Go for it.
I was just going to say, yes, maybe early on it's okay to be a Google for them.
Yes.
Because
Oh.
they're just getting their feet wet.
For sure.
Right.
But
Well,
there
I-
has
what
to
I'm-
come...
What
Yeah.
I'm doing is I'm trying to clarify so that
No.
way if somebody's early in their
For sure.
transition into allyship, they're not
Yes.
like, oh, I ask my gay friends a lot
Yes,
of things.
which is
No, ask the
fine.
questions, but also do the work for yourself.
Yes. I agree. 100%.
So.
And also like kind of putting your money and energy where your mouth is.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like making sure you're showing up and supporting.
And I think also it's important to point out that there is a true, like when we say ally, like we're talking like ride or dies, right?
Yeah.
But there are different levels of allyship.
Yes.
There are. And we as a community have to understand that there's only so much that some people can give.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So like I'm not expecting you to quit your fucking day job and abandon your children
Yeah,
and
no.
husband and say fuck your car and fuck your mortgage and your bills and drop everything you're doing to get on Google and go homosex ? Like I'm not expecting that. But what I would like to see is just some more initiative.
For sure. I agree.
I just wanted to clarify
No,
that
yeah.
because
Showing that
I didn't want it to sound
initiative.
like we're like, drop everything you're doing for us. The homos over here.
Not like...
The sissified blouses with the purses falling out their mouth.
Right. Not like Beyonce telling us to quit her job.
Or Kim Kardashian to tell us get a job.
Yeah, right. But
Should we thank Beyonce so the gay community is safe?
yes, thank you.
I thank you, Beyonce.
So basically just telling people to do kind of their personal, kind of like their own personal work to learn about queer history, origins, movements.
I think allyship is a journey. I don't think
Yes.
that it's a work. I don't think it's a job.
No.
I think of it as a journey. Where you're at in your journey of allyship is your cards to play,
Yes.
right? But you have to keep practicing with said deck so that way you can get better and further and know more tricks and know how to shuffle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's a journey.
Yeah.
It really is a journey.
You know,
Just like homosexuality and navigating life is a journey.
Oh yeah. I mean, I would say for sure, like my best friend Sarah, like
Mm-hmm.
we went to college together. She and I went on a really good journey of becoming best friends as a queer man and a straight woman.
Mhm.
And she actually did her own research, and like she actually went above and beyond to be there for me in so many ways. And it's nice to see like some people really go above and beyond.
And I will say that, not to discredit her work, but I think that's because she truly just cared about who you were as a
yes,
person.
for sure.
And it didn't matter really if you what you identified as.
Yeah.
It didn't matter what your race. She's just good people.
Yes.
What I will say is it's very common for us to see predominantly, I'm just going to throw it out there, predominantly straight white women to be allies. I'm ready to see men I'm ready to see more men.
Yeah.
Men of color, men of different backgrounds, men of different ethnicities. I'm ready to see more men in allyship.
Yes.
And I see a lot of men who say it behind closed doors.
Yes.
It's a different story, though.
And I think that takes a lot of work within the patriarchy.
I think that takes a lot of work with just masculinity in
Well,
general.
true, but
I think we as parents,
Mhm.
especially now going into this new generation of babies and stuff, when you have boys, teach them how to be true men, which is to be caring and loving and sensitive. Not necessarily like, I get it. We're in the South here. You want little Bobby Joe to be big and,
Yeah.
they can do that too.
Yeah.
It's the balance.
True. It is the balance, but it's also finding that we are in a new era of
Mhm.
life.
Of life.
And life looks different than it did
Mhm.
40, 50, 30, 20, 10 years ago.
Mhm.
Life looks different. And it's, I feel like we've come to a part where we're not evolving anymore. And
Yeah.
when a species stops evolving, they
Die.
die.
Yeah, we're not evolving anymore. In fact, we're reverting backwards.
Yes.
We're reverting so far back. I was just
Mhm.
watching a video the other day, and it was talking about this influencer who is trans, and she asked, very devure, very mindful, blah, blah, blah. Apparently she has now, and I haven't fact-checked any of this, so don't fucking come for me. But apparently she has relinquished herself from the internet for a little bit because she asked for some help monetization to get her teeth fixed.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were kind of raking her over the coals. Oh, you made it so popular on TikTok and you went viral. You should have all this money. Da, 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 da. I don't think the people know really what that entails. And so, anyways, so she has now disappeared from the internet for a little bit because she's, whatever. But what people don't realize is that he even said it, the guy who posted the video and was talking about it was like, it is almost 10 times harder today for a trans influencer to receive brand deals, collabs, than it was 8 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
8 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is
Life-
harder for trans influencers
Yeah.
to get brand collabs, brand deals, marketing than it was 8 years ago.
Yeah. And that's our culture and climate has completely shifted.
It's awful.
Yeah, it is awful, but I think that's why I think it's important to have these conversations to say not only like the queer people,
But I think what I'm getting at is like if there's true allies,
Mhm.
that shouldn't be a thing.
No, for sure.
Like, where are the allies in these companies that are refusing or not wanting to, oh, well, she's trans or, oh,
Yeah.
he's trans, we can't give them this brand. Where's the allyship now?
Yeah.
After we built the brand up.
Yeah. Well, sadly, capitalism likes to,
Well,
take over and do all that. But I think what it needs to happen is these conversations need to be more frequent within our alliance of queer and straight people is one, educating more straight people like our podcast and educating and getting our voices out there, but then also having them take a little bit of responsibility in the reins and saying, okay, I see you all as individual people and I want to fight for you and with you, in this, instead of just seeing us as, oh, that's Ben, he's my gay best friend, or, that's Vanity, she does drag. Like making sure that they see us as individuals as well and not just as a cookie cutter, every gay man, every queer woman, every trans person is exactly the same. Because we are individual humans.
well, here's the thing. Is every straight person you've ever met the same?
No.
No. So then why is every gay person you've ever met the same?
Yeah. Again,
That's the gag of it all.
yes. Again, because we have been blanketed with statements and with things that over the years have just stuck and people haven't taken the time to stand up and change it.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Well, I mean, you had a thought.
No. I
Oh.
was just gonna say. I mean, that's been history throughout all of America.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if it's not blacks, it's Asians. If it's not Asians, it's Mexicans. If it's not Mexicans, it's the gays. If it's not
Yeah.
the gays, it's white people. If it's not white people, it's trans. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just
Yeah.
we're pointing the like I said, we're pointing the gun, for lack of a better term, at a whole race or community of
Yes.
people, instead of just taking people as they are one by one.
I think
Because we are in that hurting
yes.
capitalism mindset
Yes.
of, you know, we're all just gears here to make the world turn. We're all just here to make the big boy more money. We're individual people.
True. And I think as like a bigger topic is, I think
I
individual.
think we should do a whole episode on conspiracy theories.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Look
I
at
think
her.
that would be so fucking pussy.
Honey, Miss Vanity over here, honey, she's living.
No, I've had vodka.
I know. But I was going to say, you know, as a society as a whole, I think individuality scares people, because I think when you think of individual, you sometimes think standing alone, and nobody really wants to stand alone at the end of the day. However, it's kind of like that double-edged sword. We all want to be seen as ourselves, but sometimes it's hard to stand there for a moment and like actually truly be an individual without having that herd mentality of just surviving, thriving, and keep on pushing through with everyone. So I think it really does kind of scare people sometimes
No,
to
it
be an
does.
individual.
No, it does. Because I struggle with that.
Yeah.
I struggle with being an individual. I don't view life, I don't view this world the same way that a lot of people do.
Yeah.
I don't watch, you know, not to personally attack anybody who watches it. It's just not for me. But I don't watch Big Brother, and I don't watch that kind of stuff. I don't partake in who's the hottest celebrity wearing the hottest shit. It's meaningless to me.
Yeah.
You know, so I already feel like an outsider because I have a very skewed look on life.
Mm-hmm.
So that was actually one of my biggest fears of doing this podcast was, am I going to expose too much of myself to where now I am kind of shunned?
Yeah.
Or, you know, and I catch myself. There's a lot of things that I want to say that I'm like, no, I can't say that because the mass doesn't approve of that.
Yeah.
So, like, what do you do in that situation?
Well, now you have to be an ally for yourself. Lord.
Fuck the gays. No. But you know what I'm saying.
Yes, no, I know.
Because I already feel weird because I was homeschooled,
Mm-hmm.
and then feeling weird because I don't look at life the same way that people look at life, and then like I don't take shit that normal people take serious. Like, I don't give a fuck about the Super Bowl. I don't care about the Met Gala. I don't
Yeah.
give a shit about Zendaya.
Yeah.
I don't care about Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
I don't care about these people. I don't care about these things because at the end of the day, to me, it is not important.
Yeah.
And that makes me feel weird.
I don't think you should feel weird. I think that also what we were just talking about makes you an individual.
That's what I'm saying.
But see,
I am an individual.
You
and
are,
I stand
but
on
then
it.
you also get uncomfortable being an individual.
I do.
Because so that basically we
That-
just
I'm-
wrapped it all up in a
No,
nutshell.
that's what I'm.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to do. Is like
Yeah.
I get it. I get where
Yeah.
where you're coming from with
Yeah.
that. So
So it is crazy, but I think I'm not saying that everyone listening to this has to do everything on this list.
no.
But it's okay to start where you might think you fall short and just try something.
yeah.
You know, like read a book on Martha P. Johnson.
Yeah.
Marsha P. Johnson. I did say Martha. Sorry.
Mhm.
Straight people could read a book on Marsha P. Johnson.
Yes.
And understand why she is part of our community and why she is so important to our community.
Why is she the pinnacle?
Exactly.
Right.
But it's like it's also like taking time out of your day to put in a little bit of extra. And I understand. There's a lot of stuff going on these days.
Mhm.
But it might be nice to remove yourself from the craziness and educate yourself on something positive. Like her story or like other local drag queens in your community. And I'm not saying that like straight people need to do this all by yourself. Please, gay men and queer women need to do the work as well.
That's what I was about to say.
And
though.
meet in
Yeah.
the middle. I'm not trying to say, but what I am trying to say is We live in a heteronormative world. I say that a lot, but it is true. And it's sometimes when a heteronormative person is the spotlight and center stage, it's okay to share it with someone else.
Yeah.
You know. And I mean I tend to surround myself with good allies, but I do think that even myself, we can all do better, right? We're all trying to work towards a goal, and I fall short sometimes too, so I can be better at my allyship with other minorities. But at the same time, I do feel like sometimes with our straight brothers and sisters, they get more of a silver platter. And
Absolutely. And, you know, the silver platter being as simple as, and I had this conversation with my mom because, you know, we were having a conversation and I was like, you don't understand what it's like to walk down the street and be fearful of your life. And she goes, well, I mean, no, all jokes aside, but my mom is a plus size woman, right? Very plus size. And my mom was like, well, that's not true. People make fun of fat people all the time and people don't like obese people. And I'm like, but you as a heterosexual white woman can walk down the street and hold your husband, my father's hand, and not blink twice. Not have to worry about your safety. Me as a homosexual man, I fear for an effeminate one too.
Yeah.
You know, already by myself, I fear for my life walking down the sidewalk. Much less if I wanted to hold my partner's hand.
Yeah.
And I witnessed it.
Yeah.
Me and a group of friends, we went to Gatlinburg. We went to Dollywood.
Yeah.
And they were being very loving and very sweet and not gross, not overtly sexual, just very sweet, just normal couple stuff, right? But they're two men.
Yeah.
Holding each other's hand. Grabbing each other around the waist while they're walking. Not below the belt. Just normal, loving, respectable ways of, you know, carrying your partner, right?
Yeah.
Talking to your partner, holding your partner. And I watched it all unfold, ridiculed. Literally, we were walking through the parking lot and they were holding hands. All they were doing was holding hands. There was no skipping. There was no making out. There was no, you know, tongue punching each other's fart boxes. Like, it was just normal, just holding hands.
Yeah.
And people walking, gay,
Yeah.
faggot. Yeah. Just, where is that?
Yeah.
Why? You can do that as a heteronormative couple. We cannot.
Yeah.
Our safety is immediately.
Yeah.
You know?
So I think it's
So yes,
that
there is a
point-
privilege.
Yes, there is a privilege. There is a privilege, and I think that if you have always seen that privilege,
Just like me as a white person, I have a
Yes.
privilege. If I get pulled
Yes.
over by a cop, I have a privilege.
Yes. I think it's also people taking ownership of their privilege, and that's a hard thing to do because they think it's a bad word, you know.
And here's the thing, and you know, like I've said numerous times, not to cut us off or to talk about something else, but you know, my friend group is heavily of black people, brown people, and everybody in between. I don't hang out with a lot of Caucasians.
Yeah.
And so seeing the struggles that they have, and things of that nature, I own my privilege.
Yes.
And it should be owned.
Yeah.
I am aware.
Yeah.
When I say I own my privilege, it's not like, oh, I have this privilege. It's me going, I understand that I have a privilege. I understand that this privilege exists, and I understand how damaging this privilege is to the people that I love and care the most.
Yeah.
Owning your privilege.
Yes.
Just like straight people own your privilege.
Yeah.
That's what I was getting
Yes.
at. So.
And then that way it'll help you be a better ally in the end for everyone. And I think that we should wrap this conversation up with what is one piece of advice you would like to give your straight friends. And if you need a moment.
Oh.
My advice to my straight friends would be it's okay to reach out and ask if you're doing enough.
Very well said. Very well said. Mine would be it's only gay if the balls touch.
And there you've had it, wrapped up in a beautiful bow. I think we've, gosh darn it. And this has been Words of Wisdom with Vanity.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to take a short break and we'll be right back.
Right back.
Bye.
No, you said what I was gonna say, so I was like,
Oh.
I didn't know what else to say.
Great minds think alike. I didn't know I was supposed to snort.
Kisses!
This week's Showgirl Showcase is no showgirl. We have a show man. And this week is Cosmo Cullen. Cosmo Cullen is Nashville's glam rock vampire drag king. He popped up on the scene in May of 2025 and has been sparkling his way around Nashville ever since. He's known for his campy, silly, sexy, spooky performances that leave audiences enchanted. You may know him from Drag Supreme Campaign 2, but he's also performed at Garage Sale Bar, Lipstick Lounge, Spooky Ghoul Fest, Hubba Hubba Tiki Tonk, and more. He's the vampire boyfriend of your dreams, and he can't wait to show you his fangs. You can find him all around on the socials. Cosmo Cullen is our showman of the week. Welcome back.
Yep.
Well, half of us are back.
Well, yeah.
And we know that it's time for Vanity's favorite time of the show. It's time for Petty Confessions. And Petty Confessions is where we read aloud your petty confessions, discuss them, say if we would do it or not, or pass.
Mm.
So today's I'm going to go first, and
Oh.
it says,
Oh.
yeah, I'm going first.
Mm.
It says, if someone uses a heavily filtered photo from 2022 as their main profile picture, I will ask them if they've changed their hair recently. The minute we meet in person, I know what you did.
Ooh. Alf.
That is so...
That's shady as fuck.
It is shady as
I'll
fuck.
tell you this, though. If it's a drag queen, I would totally do this. But if it's a drag queen, I'd go, have you had some work done? I ain't gonna lie.
No, I know you're not lying.
I
That
ain't gonna lie.
you
Because why in the pictures you're asymmetrical, but in person you look like you're drooping? And why your titty do that? I have questions.
Why's your titty do that?
So I would be like, oh my gosh,
Why
good
are they
to
looking
see
like
you.
melted
Have
Tootsie
you had
Rolls?
work done? Last I saw you.
You look good, girl.
You look, yeah.
I mean, I think that's funny just because from our standpoint of being dragged backstage, it's so funny to like.
Well, being dragged backstage, but then also with the way that AI is taken over,
Oh.
it's so comical to me now.
Yeah.
Like reading that, I'm like, that's funny.
It is.
Mm-hmm. It's very what you ordered and what you received are two totally different variants.
For sure. It's a lot of Temu.
Mm-hmm. A lot of Temu. A lot of Temu. And I would totally do that.
I would do it too.
I would-
What's yours, girlfriend?
Mine is I completely ended a talking stage simply because she used the phrase live, laugh, love in a text message. Listen, I don't care if it was ironic. It was the psychic damage had already been done at that point. Sounds very white.
It does.
I would probably not be in a social circle where somebody felt like they needed to put live, laugh, love in a text message. But if I found myself in said social circle, I would probably not talk to that person ever again.
Oh gosh, I was gonna surprise you with that tomorrow morning.
Girl. Just like I'm going to surprise Bishop with a like. Or a K.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. K.
Oh my god. So you would definitely
Yeah.
X
I
them
would.
out.
Yeah, no.
But I mean, it's kind of like the new Live, Laugh, Love is Love is Love. The gays revamped it. Got ya.
Well, guys, I got to go. There's
Got
a
ya.
storm a brewing.
There is. We're not talking about outside.
Nope, we're talking about my pants. No. I would absolutely do that in a heartbeat.
Yes.
Fuck that.
Oh my gosh. You can always send us some lovely petty confessions. Now we're going to have a Google form.
Ooh,
that you
fancy,
can click on the
fancy.
link and type it in for us.
That sounds wonderful.
I love that. I can't wait to see what y'all come up with. Or you can always email us or Instagram us on the gram. All that fun stuff too.
Mm-hmm. And where can they find us?
Well, first we have to say that's the end of our segment.
Petty
confessions.
That's not true because last time you said you can always email us your petty confessions at looselipstick@gmail.com.
That's the thing you're going to remember? That's been a whole week. How you remembering that?
I don't know. I have
God.
big toes.
I wish you would forget certain... Wait. I have big toes.
Well, what? Last week I was jiggling my titties for biscuits. This week I have big toes.
And
So,
now, and tomorrow you're going to look like a thumb in a dress.
well, Thumbelina, here I come. Kennedy's over here punching the ghosts, the 13 ghosts from the haunted mansion.
Baby, it's been a day.
It has been a day.
Oh my gosh. Well, let's move into our tips
And tricks.
of the week.
Ooh. So what's your tip this week?
So my tip is for my big shouldered gals,
Mhm.
make sure that, you're
Mhm.
stacking your wigs. Top those babies. Make you have big hair so you can like move it around, make you look a little petite.
Make you look a little petite. And for the big hand beauties, let me tell you, the bigger the glass, the smaller the hands. No, I'm just kidding. That is actually a really great tip, though. I'm not going to lie. But my tip of this week is for the girls who wear... Oh, my God. Kennedy is crying. Oh, somebody get her a Kleenex.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Do I need to spray your face with Rain-X? No, but for my girls who are in between complexions, like to give you a little synopsis, I am a light suntan. I'm in between light suntan and suntan, right? Am I tights? What are you? Why are you laughing?
You're just making me laugh tonight. I'm sorry. I think I'm slap happy.
Yeah, I think you very much are slap happy, and I think I'm drunk.
That's why I'm laughing.
Wow. Okay, anyways, let me start over. So this is for my beauties who wear tights, okay? If you are in between skin tones like I am, like I'm not quite a suntan, but I'm not like quite a light suntan, what you do is you wear a light suntan tight, and then you wear a suntan fishnet, and then your skin tone is balanced.
That's cute. I like that.
You're so welcome.
That was a good tip.
I think your eyes are redder than mine. And I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew and Pixie Sticks.
Oh my God, y'all. We love doing this weekly. It is just a hoot and a half. And we are so excited that you decide to join us each week and listen to us just
And I
gab.
beg that you continue to do so.
Yeah, please. Please. sir.
Please, sir, may we have some more?
But you could find me at Miss Kennedy Ann Scott on all the socials. You can email us at
Oh, now she
looselips-
wants to do it.
You can email us at looselipslipstick@gmail.com. And you can find us on the Instagram at looselipslipstickpod.
Mm-hmm.
Where can they find you?
At home, in my sweatpants. Got it. You can find me all the way across social media at The Only Vanity. And on Fortnite, too, at The Only Vanity.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I love that you get into games.
If that's what you want to call him.
Oh my gosh, we hope you all have a wonderful week. And in the words of Vanity, we always like to say, bye!
What?
Got that
Fade out.
ruby red